Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Economic Development, Tourism, and Special Events Advisory Committee meeting. Today is June 15th. We'll call this meeting to order. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interests? Seeing none, that's closed. May I have an approval of today's agenda? Ed, Joanna, all in favor? That's carried, thank you. And an approval of the minutes of the February 5th meeting. Brent and Leslie, all in favor? That's carried, thank you. We have one delegation, our first delegation is the Economic Development and Tourism team for the town of Stouffville regarding the First Impressions Community Exchange Project. And I'm going to turn it over to Linda so she can introduce.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll just provide some context to this project prior to the members from the town of Stouffville before they start their presentation. So the Economic Development and Tourism team, which included Louisa, Jen, and Shannon, along with our partner representatives, including Suzanne Andrews and Doug Stevenson and Kelly West, our Manager of Planning, along with Karen Fisher, participated in the First Impressions Community Exchange Program. This is one of the Ministry of Rural Affairs economic development tools, and they offer to communities to support community development. The city partnered with the Economic Development and Tourism team from the town of Stouffville. The ministry looks at two communities that are matched based on size and demographics, so that's some of the criteria that is reviewed and determined on which communities are partnered. The program included a full community assessment with a focus on downtowns, commercial areas, and tourism assets and attractions. The team in each community evaluated the partner towns' aesthetics, signage, businesses, community services, natural areas such as parks and trails, transportation, and friendliness of the community, sharing their feedback to help improve tourism, resident retention, and business investment. After the visit, each community presents its observations to each other, which is what is taking place today at today's meeting. Following the presentation, Economic Development and Tourism staff, along with our partners, will create a plan based on the feedback provided to recommend some actionable changes. The team from Quinte West will be providing our presentation to the town of Stouffville on June 23rd. So we'd like to thank the team from Stouffville, Madison, Christina, and Tom, for their time and effort in partnering with Quinte West on this valuable project. We also wanted to thank the regional advisors at the Ministry of Rural Affairs, Lori and Carolyn, for their guidance and support throughout the project. So we now have the town of Stouffville staff to present their findings. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that introduction. Are you all able to hear me okay? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. I will share my screen. Perfect. Is everyone able to see that as well?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. I will begin the presentation. I do have some team members joining me online today, and they will be answering any questions along with me at the end. So keep your questions for the end if possible, but we're very excited to be presenting to you all today. We had a very fun time exploring Quinte West. We visited Quinte West May 7th and 8th, and as your team member mentioned, the First Impression Community Exchange Program is built on the belief that all communities can learn from one another, and first-time visitor experiences provide fresh perspectives and valuable insight into how others might see, experience, and enjoy your community. Our visiting team was assembled to provide a balanced assessment of Quinte West from a variety of professional and personal and demographic perspectives. The group included representatives from economic development, engineering and public works, and development services, allowing us to evaluate the community through lenses such as business attraction, infrastructure accessibility, transportation planning, and the public realm. To support, a secret shopper approach was taken, and team members adopted different personas throughout the visit, including a young entrepreneur, a tourist, developer, investor, and a passerby traveling through the community. The team also represented a wide range of age groups, helping to capture a diverse perspective and experience even further of our time in Quinte West. The team combined assigned personas and professional experience, provided thoughtful and practical observations from a visitor and business perspective when we visited Quinte West. Our team reviewed a variety of municipal, tourism, downtown, and social media platforms to help gain first impressions of the community before even going. So all of our research took place mainly online. Overall, we found that Quinte West had a strong online waterfront and tourism identity, particularly through the Bay of Quinte tourism website. It stood out very strongly for its branding, videography, photography, and it was quite easy to navigate. It complemented the municipal website quite well, where the municipal website was definitely focused on different info for interested businesses, developers, and folks who might live there. The Bay of Quinte website was definitely catered more towards visitor experience, but between the two, they did provide a good range of information. We also found that the Downtown Trenton BIOA website was very helpful from a visitor standpoint and for business information. It included walking tours and parking information. Particularly, the parking information was quite helpful for us when we were planning our trip, as it was easy to know where we should be parking to start our experience in downtown Quinte West. It also listed available properties, so as a interested entrepreneur coming into the downtown area, it was easy to see all the properties that were available to view. Social media platforms, especially Instagram and YouTube, also help showcase local attractions and provide some information for us around restaurants, experiences, and just the overall character of the community. From our perspective, there is also opportunity to further strengthen online engagement through social media specifically, such as short form videos, reels, tourism storytelling, business highlights, and leaning into some of the trends that are on Instagram and TikTok at the moment to really help amplify and showcase your community. Team members also observed the opportunity to make downtown tourism information more visible on the municipal homepage, and some of the links that we found on the website were no longer working or didn't necessarily direct us to where they promised us to go. But overall, the online presence created a strong expectations and made us quite excited to visit Quinte West and did help us plan our trip quite a lot. Here is a quick view of our overall online presence ranking from ease improvement to satisfactory and very good. One thing we did note too with social media is that the downtown BIA social media had a lot of amazing posts and a very strong branding, but partly why we did list that as satisfactory is that it was very uniform. So breaking it up a bit, or again, having those trends incorporated in short videos could help amplify it even more and move it from satisfactory to excellent. Prior to our visit, many team members had already developed strong expectations based on the community online presence that we've been exploring. From our perspective, the online platforms created the impression of a vibrant waterfront community with an active downtown closely connected to the water. Team members expected to see waterfront restaurants, trails, public gathering spaces, and nautical themes throughout the downtown area, with strong tourism experiences tied to the Trans-Severn Waterway and local aviation history and military presence. Overall, the online presence helped create excitement and interest prior to the visit. The photo here is an image of the Halifax waterfront, actually, which helps represent the type of vibrant waterfront and atmosphere that we were expecting to visit or see when we visited. The entrance into Quinte West provided a positive first impression, with several features helping create a sense of community identity in place. Members noted that the community generally felt clean, welcoming, well maintained, and this was particularly felt along the waterfront areas. There were several positive branding and placemaking elements observed throughout the community, including public art, such as murals, painted chairs, colorful walkways, branded banners, Quinte West branded features at various locations, such as off the highway, as the image predicts here. The team members also found that the parking maps at the marina were very helpful and made it easy to navigate the area and access. From our perspective, there may be opportunities to further strengthen entranceways and wayfinding experiences. While there was gateway signage and wayfinding throughout Quinte West, it appeared somewhat removed from the main downtown area, and it also seemed some of it was faded or it had small font, so it's a bit difficult for us to read as we were driving into the community, and it didn't seem to have consistent branding across the different wayfinding signage. Here is our ranking for the community entrance. So we were quite split between ease, improvement, and good. Quinte West had a broad mix of housing types that we witnessed as we were driving through the different neighborhoods, and there was a lot of different, very charming neighborhood characters that we experienced. The different housing types created an impression that the community is accessible, family-oriented, and it did seem relatively affordable compared to many larger Ontario communities. The members observed the variety of housing forms, including detached homes, apartments, heritage properties, multiplex, and senior housing, help support a range of ages and affordability within the community. Many neighborhoods felt very welcoming and lived in, with beautiful mature trees, parks, proximity to the waterfront, and we did witness lots of families going on strolls and kids playing on the street as we walked through the neighborhood. Areas like west of Film Street stood out particularly positive due to their landscaping, streetscaping, and sense of neighborhood pride. At the same time, team members did observe some opportunity to improve walkability and tree canopy in some areas in some neighborhoods, and road conditions and traffic flows in certain areas as well. And it did, at the end of the day, it did appear that there were some opportunities to encourage additional housing diversity with future residential growth, so more middle housing options. Here's our ranking of our housing and residential experience. Our experience with local government services in Quinte West was very, very positive. This stood out as a highlight among our team members. Municipal facilities such as Town Hall and the library were very easy to locate, very easy to find. There was lots of parking. It was very accessible and well kept. Town Hall in particular created a strong first impression. As you can see in the picture, and as you know very well, the building is very beautiful. It's very impressive by the water. The big windows were very, very appealing, and it did seem very modern on both the inside and outside. One of the strongest themes throughout our experience with municipal services was the amazing customer service. Staff at both Town Hall and the library were super friendly, knowledgeable, and eager to assist. Team members consistently found that staff were willing to answer questions, provide information, and connect us to the appropriate resources. A particular memorable example from the team was when the member was acting as a prospective business investor and inquired about the Division Street reconstruction project. They received prompt assistance, follow-up emails with additional information and resources, and this really demonstrated the commitment to customer service and business support. Another feature that stood out was a virtual customer service kiosk located at the entrance of Town Hall. This innovative approach allowed visitors to connect directly with appropriate departments and staff members and reflect a forward-thinking approach to serving the residents and visitors of your community. Tourism information was also quite easy to find through the community with brochures and maps and visitor resources displayed at municipal facilities and the marina. The marina in particular served as an effective visitor information hub and really helped strengthen the connection between tourism, the waterfront, and municipal services. The library was definitely a standout community asset. In addition to being very welcoming, and there was the idea box, which demonstrated creativity, innovation, and the commitment your community has to engaging and creating these spaces for residents and visitors to express themselves and create. One opportunity that we did identify is to strengthen the coordination between business support organizations. So, for example, when one team member went in to the chamber office to discuss opening a potential business in the downtown area, team members were not directed to the Economic Development Office or the BIA for any additional support. So building those connections and bridges of information across the sectors would be quite helpful for any businesses interested in opening up in Quinte West. But overall, Quinte West local government was viewed very professionally, very welcoming, innovative, and informative. Quinte West did present itself, we felt, as very family and community oriented with a strong range of educational opportunities, particularly in the elementary and secondary school levels. Team member observed a variety of public, Catholic, French language schools, and it appeared that they were well integrated with the surrounding neighborhoods and the community. While Quinte West does not appear to have any major post-secondary institutions directly within the community, nearby educational opportunities in Belleville help strengthen the region's overall educational offerings, and also not too far from Kingston and Queens as well. And this could help offer students, young professionals, or be appealing to students, young professionals, and families who are interested in moving to Quinte West. From our perspective, there may be an opportunity to improve visibility of some daycare and childcare information online, and to continue expanding on that as the community grows. And there may also be opportunity to strengthen partnerships with nearby post-secondary institutions to help connect students with employment opportunities and entrepreneurship support and pathways to live and work in Quinte West. But overall, the educational environment contributed positively to Quinte West. And it's amazing to have that connection with Belleville's post-secondary institution. Our ranking for education is displayed on the screen here. Moving on to health services, our team found that Quinte West offered a broad range of accessible health services and wellness, and this contributed positively to our overall impression of the community. Overall, health services were easy to locate throughout the community. There was a strong presence of medical wellness and retirement-related services that reinforced the impression of Quinte West as a community that supports residents of all stages of life. The hospital was easy to access by car, and the facility although the facility seemed a bit older and smaller in scale, it does remain an important healthcare resource for the community. One of our observations from our visit was that there was paid parking, which was somewhat unexpected in a smaller community, and that we did note that the main entrance to the hospital was located in a fire route or no stop zone. So while safety requirements are very important, this could create a challenge for some individuals with mobility limitations who might have difficulty walking from the parking lot to the entrance. And there may be an opportunity to further improve the visitor experience by an enhanced pickup and drop-off location at the front of the hospital. I'll also note that when we were researching health and wellness in Quinte West, the name of the hospital, Trenton Memorial Hospital, did give us the impression that maybe it was a hospital for veterans or for the military, and that could just be through us navigating and understanding the military history and presence in the community. That said, when we did drive up to the hospital, we quickly realized it's for everyone, and the name is just honoring that connection. One of the strongest impressions was the overall concentration of healthcare and wellness businesses in the downtown core. We did observe a wide range of specialized services such as dental office, hearing clinics, physiotherapy clinics, chiropractic services, massage therapy, counseling services, and other wellness-related businesses. So these services definitely would support the residents and did show that the community is committed to well-being and, of course, would bring people downtown for appointments, and hopefully they're able to experience and explore downtown when they do get their healthcare services done. Here's a ranking on the screen here for healthcare services, so ranging from satisfactory to good. One of the strongest impressions from our visit was the quality of Quinte West community amenities and public space. We observed a wide range of rec assets, including waterfront parks, playgrounds, sports amenities, gathering spaces, community facilities, all contributed positively to the quality of life of visitors and residents, I'm sure. The library stood out as a strong asset. Public washrooms in the downtown area were also very positive to see, helping to create a more welcoming environment and encouraging people to stay longer. We do note that the hours of the washroom were limited, so when we were there in the evening, they were not open. Looking ahead, there is some opportunity to promote Quinte West's own attractions, events, and experiences further, as many residents did direct us towards Belleville when we were asking about different activities and events happening within Quinte West. And there's also opportunity to expand year-round programming and increase awareness of these service offerings, especially focused for youth activities in the evenings. We did note as well that the playgrounds that we visited didn't seem to have accessible features like full support swings or some features that kids can enjoy that might have mobility challenges or not be able to navigate a playground the same way as others. Here's our community service ranking, ranging from ease improvement to good. For downtown, we had a very strong impression that your downtown has significant potential for Quinte West. The waterfront, marina, boardwalk, riverfront square, and surrounding parks were consistently identified as great assets for the community. Combined with a walkable downtown, free parking and lots of parking, public amenities, murals, historic architecture, these features really created a strong foundation for future growth within the downtown area. We also observed a strong sense of community pride with some of the local businesses and community champions, particularly with the Old Bank Cafe that we visited in the secondary downtown. They were super keen to talk about Quinte West. They loved Quinte West. They were great ambassadors of Quinte West and sat and chatted with us all about the history of the downtown area. At the same time, we did realize that some of the businesses tended to suggest Belleville as a spot for us to go. So creating a visitor ambassador program or resources for some businesses would be helpful so they can promote each other, promote different businesses in the downtown area for visitors and folks to go experience and explore. We did also highlight that strengthening the connection between the downtown and the waterfront through improved wayfinding, branding, and creative placemaking would be a great opportunity. The waterfront and marina are so close to the downtown, and there did seem to be a slight disconnect, or it wasn't as easy to know as a visitor how to get to the heart of the downtown when we were at the marina. Additional opportunities include increased evening activities and dining options. We did have limited restaurant options when we were dining Thursday evening after our mini putt experience. But overall, the downtown has strong bones. The connection to the waterfront is lovely. The patios that overlook the waterfront was amazing, and there were a handful of great local businesses within the downtown area. Our downtown ranking is here, ranging from needs improvement to good. For retail services, our team noticed that the folks that we chatted with at any of the businesses were super friendly and great to interact with. Team members consistently experienced welcoming customer service and encountered passionate business owners that were eager to chat and share information. Some of our standout examples were our experience at the Old Bank Cafe, as they were amazing ambassadors. We did also visit the Grind and Vine Cafe and Tommaso's Italian Grill, which also contributed positively to our personal experience and did help showcase the local character of the downtown area. The downtown does benefit from a mix of essential services, independent businesses, and restaurants and cafes, and wellness-related businesses that support residents and visitors. The presence of the Chamber and the downtown BIA right in the downtown area was amazing to see, and it really did emphasize that downtown is a hub for business and community service. Looking ahead, we do think there might be some opportunities to diversify the retail mix with more destination-oriented shopping and experiential businesses that encourage visitors and tourists to spend more time in the downtown area. We did also note that there were a lot of dollar stores and thrift shops in the downtown area, which is a great thing to lean into as well. Vintage shopping, thrift shopping is quite popular, and that's something that you can promote online as a place for people to come and do some thrifting. Additional opportunities include strengthening some shop local initiatives and increasing evening activities, some support with facade improvements, particularly in the back of the buildings that overlook the waterfront, as that's kind of our first impression to the downtown when we were walking from the marina to the downtown area. But overall, there's a great, strong foundation of local businesses and lots of amazing independent mom and pop shops in the downtown for us to enjoy. Here's our ranking of retail and services. The food and dining scene was one of the most positive aspects of our visit to Quinte West. Team members were definitely impressed by the diverse dining options and strong presence of independently owned restaurants and cafes. The welcoming hospitality experience of the community definitely stood out. As I mentioned, we did go to the Old Bank Cafe, Tommaso's Italian Grill, which both offered very memorable dining experience and showcased local pride and community character, and they were eager to talk to us about the history of their business, history of the community. The waterfront patios and outdoor dining areas were also a significant strength, helping to create an attractive gathering space and contribute positively to the downtown. Although we were there during the shoulder season in May, the patios were not open, so we didn't get to experience the full potential when we visited, but we could definitely see how amazing it would be in the summer months. Looking ahead, there is opportunity to further strengthen Quinte West's culinary identity, expanding evening dining hours, encouraging additional patios and pop-ups along the waterfront, such as food trucks and a Eat Local marketing campaign that would promote different restaurants in the area. Again, when we were chatting with some of the different retail service spaces or the museum, for example, it was often suggested that we go to Belleville for dining experiences, but there are many amazing restaurants in Quinte West that need to be promoted further among the business community. Here is our ranking on the screen now for food and dining. Employment in Quinte West appears diverse but heavily supported by military, industrial manufacturing, healthcare, tourism, and retail. Military and aviation sector is a major economic driver, and it does contribute significantly to the community's identity. Industrial areas appeared active with a mix of established waterfront industries and newer employment developments. Downtown businesses also provide a wide range of local employment opportunities through retail, restaurants, professional services, healthcare, community organizations, and of course, having the hospital there would be a big employer. Key strengths that we did identify is that the local economy doesn't appear to be dependent on one singular industry. It did seem to have a diverse mix, and we did love that we saw a lot of independently owned businesses in the area. Quinte West job board stood out as a valuable employment resource as well. And we did see some help wanted signs and ongoing hiring activity within the downtown area. We also went to the BI office and they have hired some summer students we were able to chat with as well. So it's great to see that youth are able to be involved in placemaking of the downtown area. But overall, Quinte West did feel like it had a stable and diverse employment base with strong potential to continue to grow. Here is our ranking for employment. Now on to tourism entertainment. The team found that Quinte West had a strong tourism foundation and significant potential growth as a destination. The community benefited from several unique assets, including the waterfront, military and aviation heritage, downtown, historic downtown, parks, marina, restaurants, and strong regional tourism connections. These assets already create a memorable visitor experience, particularly during the summer months. One of the strongest tourism differentiate, I can't say the word, unique identities that Quinte West had was the military and aviation identity. The National Air Force Museum really anchored this, and it was one of the most memorable attractions that we visited. Not to mention the constant airplanes flying overhead really added to the atmosphere and density of the area. The aircraft collection and military history was very interesting to learn more about, and this is definitely not something that would be commonly found in waterfront communities across Ontario, so something very unique to lean into. Team members did feel like there was an opportunity to build on this identity through additional pop-ups such as public art, aviation-themed experiences, maybe even viewpoints where people can go watch the airplanes flying overhead and gather together. The waterfront was a major strength from a tourism lens in Centennial Park, in the marina, and trails. These were all amazing gathering spaces and opportunities for more rec, placemaking, tourism developments, and events. The team felt like these spaces had excellent bones and could support additional programming like events, vendor pop-ups, seasonal activations to even further enhance these spaces. Again, we were there in May, so I'm sure the summer has more events and such along the waterfront, but it is an opportunity to pull these activations and events into the shoulder seasons as well. The team also observed opportunities to strengthen storytelling around Hollywood North and Block 6. As they were definitely promoted online, we did find it a bit more difficult to find more information about these places and could benefit from clearer wayfinding and more immersive visitor experience. Hollywood North was super, super cool to learn about, and we did visit the attraction in the neighborhood, and we did see the mural. It would be beneficial maybe to have some more information and history specifically at the mural that talked about this very unique experience. Other recurring observations were the need for stronger, more coordinated tourism identity. While several organizations were actively promoting tourism, there appeared to be some confusion around leadership and messaging and destination branding. A more unified approach could help strengthen visitor awareness and create a clear identity for Quinte West. We also did partake in the historic walking tour of the secondary downtown, which maybe needs a bit more refinement as the locations were quite spread out and wasn't the most easy to walk from one to the other, especially if you do have any mobility challenges. Also, some of the locations within the walking tour, such as the arena, were actually closed when we got there, so we couldn't further explore the locations listed. But it was great to hear and read about the stories of these areas. I'll mention too that the scavenger hunt that was being promoted online wasn't heavily promoted by the businesses. We didn't hear anyone mention it. We did see the sign in the secondary downtown, only one that was located in a bit of a challenging area to stop, as it was a skinny sidewalk at an intersection. So we weren't really able to easily stop and scan and read more about that initiative, although it is an amazing initiative and great to be doing, especially during the shoulder season, to get people to go out and explore. But at the end of the day, Quinte West has many great ingredients for a successful tourism destination: the beautiful waterfront, the unique history with aviation and Hollywood North, and the amazing parks and public spaces. But by strengthening branding and storytelling and connectivity and wayfinding, it could help benefit the tourism experience overall. Our ranking is presented there on the screen, ranging from satisfactory to excellent. Quinte West does benefit from strong rec systems, such as the amazing parks and trails, waterfront spaces, sports facilities, and outdoor amenities. As I mentioned, Centennial Park stood out as a major asset, offering a mix of rec spaces and waterfront access. Team members also noted the quality of trails and networks was amazing in the marina area, and the free outdoor fitness equipments. While the rec assets were generally well maintained, some of the amenities within the tourism park did appear to be underutilized, at least during our visit. Again, we were there during the off season, but the volleyball courts didn't seem to be set up yet, and the skate park signage seemed to be a little bit faded or dated, and there was some litter in these areas. There are some opportunities to improve awareness around rec programs through a centralized guide as well. We did try to find some more information on this, but we did find it a bit hard to find in person. And expanding some year-round programs could be beneficial as well and enhance accessibility and inclusivity among some park spaces, as mentioned before. Here's a rec rating on the screen. On to culture and heritage. Quinte West benefits from a strong culture and heritage foundation that contributes to the identity. One of the community's most defining cultural assets is the military and aviation heritage that is anchored by the Air Force Museum of Canada. This identity was visible throughout the community, and this really helps distinguish Quinte West from other communities and really made it a unique space. Public art was definitely a standout feature with our visit. Specifically, the Indigenous artwork and public installations throughout the downtown really added to the vibrancy, color, and character of the community. These pieces not only enhance public space, but also help tell the stories in local community culture and Indigenous heritage. Members felt the public art played an important role in strengthening the community's identity, and it really did play into Hollywood North and the aviation. There was an opportunity, like I mentioned before, to maybe add some more history on a plaque or a QR code that would link to more detail around the specific stories that the murals were displaying. There was also an opportunity possibly to include some more diverse stories in the public art, like the Indigenous storytelling piece was wonderful, and building upon that would be incredible. The community's connection to the film industry through its Hollywood North identity was also viewed very positively from our team. Learning about the film history was very interesting and definitely added a layer to our visitor experiencing, highlighting the unique culture of Quinte West. However, the team did feel like this opportunity to communicate the story and enhance the experience even more. When we did go see the memorial piece, it was a bit challenging to know where to park, as there weren't any clear parking signs, and the building in and behind the memorial did have a no trespassing sign, which made it a bit difficult for us to know if we were able to even go right up to the sculpture. But it was nonetheless super interesting and super fun to learn about this very creative history. The historic downtown buildings such as the churches and the historic residential houses were very beautiful and really added to the culture as well and added to the community charm. The historic walking tour, as mentioned, was a very positive initiative, and we did love that it encouraged visitors to explore the architecture and heritage stories. As mentioned, the heritage walking tour route was a bit difficult, at least when you put it into Google Maps. It did take you on very long walks from each location. That said, it was really beautiful that the pharmacy, which was one of the stops, had the beautiful artwork on the walls that depicted some historic photos of the area. And that did help with the wayfinding. But there maybe is some improvement to reevaluate and enhance this walking tour to create a more streamlined experience for the visitors, such as ensuring that the locations that are being promoted are open. And there was the functional public school listed as well. So we did feel a bit uncertain about actually going to that destination as it was an operating school. But that said, the stories and the little blurbs that were associated with each location were very cool and very interesting to learn about. And we would definitely recommend a heritage walking tour, but maybe just having some time to refine it a bit more. The Museum of Natural History was another asset that we looked up online that we were very excited to experience and go. We did find that there is very limited roadside visibility and wayfinding, making it very difficult to locate. We did almost drive by the museum. The staff were super welcoming when we got there. There was a fun children's zone and interactive play zone that was amazing for families. The exhibit could be explored relatively quickly, and there was limited interactive elements, I guess, beyond that for workshops or programming opportunity that could encourage people to stay longer. We would say that our impression of the museum online was different than our actual experience, as it was definitely a lot smaller than we were expecting and a bit more difficult to find. One attraction that stood out particularly well was the Homestead Adventure Park. We did visit that in the evening, and it was very enjoyable and educational. I don't know if you've been, but each of the mini putt holes does talk about a different history of Quinte West. So it is themed Quinte West history, and it was a really fun way to learn more about the history of Quinte West in an interactive, fun, and memorable, engaging experience. The team did observe positive signs of inclusivity throughout the community. We did see pride decals on many of the business windows, as well as a rainbow crosswalk, which was a lovely positive feature. And this gives opportunities to continuing to expand multicultural programming, inclusive storytelling through social media and online. So ensuring that Quinte West is promoting to all different groups and continuing to create that welcoming and inclusive space for everyone to come and enjoy Quinte West. Our cultural and heritage ranking is displayed here online. One of Quinte West's greatest strengths is that it is a very welcoming, small town, charming atmosphere, and did have a great sense of community with the unique military aviation identity and Hollywood North. The community does benefit from amazing waterfront assets and trails and parks. It's also very beautiful within the historic downtown area, adding to the charm of historic downtowns in Ontario. And it is located right by the highway, so it is easy to access from other communities. There seems to be affordable housing, so it's an amazing place for young families to come. And again, you can't beat the beautiful and natural assets that surround the community. A quick description of the community. Our team described the community to taste like Italian food, seafood, coffee. The sound of aircrafts overhead added to the experience. The nature, the trees, the water, the boats going by. You could smell the the lakeside, the water, the coffee, the nature. It felt very welcoming, like it was growing but also a very relaxed community. So building upon that, the positive features are that it's a very welcoming community atmosphere. There's a strong connection to nature and the waterfront. The historic downtown is located near the waterfront, so that's the ability to build upon affordable housing, opportunities for future growth, strong tourism potential, and it is very accessible. Some of the key challenges identified were the competition of nearby communities, particularly Belleville. Lots of people were recommending us to go to Belleville rather than staying in Quinte West itself. There's a strong sense of seasonal tourism, so it seemed like it might be a bit quieter during the winter, spring, and fall, and the summer is really the peak of the tourism activity with the events and such. There was limited tourism branding, destination awareness, or maybe unsure with the leader of the tourism campaigns. There was some underutilized waterfront areas with opportunity to further activate the waterfront. Some quick wins that our team are presenting is strengthening tourism and marketing and storytelling, supporting businesses as tourism ambassadors, so giving them the resources to really be able to promote Quinte West and promote other businesses within the community, strengthening waterfront to downtown connections, improving wayfinding within the community, business development support across sectors, and maximizing existing tourism assets in all-season activations. That is everything. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation, and we welcome any questions or any comments that you might have.
Thank you. If the Stouffville team just wants to sit tight for a second, one of our board members has to leave at 4, and we wanted to recognize them. It'll just take a moment. So, are you ladies coming up? Or? During the question portion. So this certificate is awarded to Suzanne Andrews, CEO of Quinte West Chamber of Commerce, in recognition of your dedication and service to the City of Quinte West Economic Development, Tourism, and Special Events Advisory Committee for over 20 years. Your commitment, hard work, and collaboration on many projects have contributed to the economic growth of Quinte West and have set a standard of excellence. We are honored to celebrate you on your retirement from Quinte West Chamber of Commerce. And this is presented June 15th, 2026.
Go ahead. There you go.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Maybe I'll be a public member.
Get your council papers in, Suzanne. August deadline. Okay. Thank you for that. Does anyone have any questions for the Stouffville team? Joanna, yeah, go ahead.
I hit it.
There you go.
Oh, I just want to say that I think you did a terrific job. It was really well presented. It made us feel that we really are doing a great job. But we have some. You've given us some ideas that we can, we can proceed on. So thank you very much. I thought it was very good and very well done. And I don't have any questions because you've covered everything. So thanks again.
Yeah, Shelley, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, that was very well done, and it certainly is thought-provoking. There's lots of ideas in there that I think that we can work with, but it also presents a lot of positive features that we have, and so it's very, very thorough, and thank you very much for that.
Okay, Zach?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd also like to thank the Stouffville delegation, as it were. I participated in one of these programs with Aurelia before, and I know being on the opposite side, visiting a community, it is, it can be, difficult. You want to be candid with your feedback and also really kind of highlight the things that are working in the community. And I think that you struck a good balance, definitely some good takeaways. And very in-depth. I really appreciate it. And one of the things that's I think stuck out to me actually is that a lot of the feedback in terms of the opportunities on the wayfinding and some of the downtown things that you mentioned, I think that we're actually on the right track in a lot of ways when I think about the work that council has done this term and some of the recent allocations on the wayfinding updates and the community, the commercial and tourism CIP program. So I think that that's a testament to staff, and I think we're on the right track here on a lot of things, so thank you.
Yeah, Ed, go ahead.
Yeah, overall, I think it was good. The only point I would make, you're doing a SWOT analysis, I get it, but your expectation, you show a picture of the Halifax Harbor. There's 500,000 people there. And Dartmouth is another couple 100,000 right across the harbor. So you're comparing, probably the better part of 700,000 population against what? We have probably 20,000 in Trenton whole, if you don't include all of Quinte. So I just question the expectation when you're comparing it to Halifax, I think was probably a little off. But the rest of it, I get it. You got a little town here. We're trying our best to grow, and you got a beautiful waterfront, but you're not going to be able to support, Halifax Harbor probably has 20 large restaurants, and we have Tomaso's, and it's hard to compare, and it wouldn't be viable to bring in the kind of restaurants you're talking about. So that would be my only point. But the rest of it, I think we all realize, the dollar stores and everything, that you're not going to be able to change that overnight.
Irene?
Yes, I just have a quick question. You mentioned a couple of times the possibility for more off-season activities. There used to be more here with ice fishing and things, but with climate change, it's kind of hard to promote. You have ice and then you don't have ice. Do you have any suggestions of what ideas some of you may have had when you mentioned that?
I can talk to some of the suggestions that came up as we were discussing, and there are more throughout the report too that you'll be receiving. But different pop-up events, maybe winter markets or events that can get some of the businesses involved, culinary events like food trucks or outdoor dining options that could be in the fall, spring, and leading into that, or even if it is outdoor activities such as promoting biking trails in the fall, or winter hiking, whatever that might look like. But I do get it's hard with climate change if you're banking on a snowy or icy related activity and that doesn't happen. Or even the scavenger hunt, little activities like that, passport initiatives that could get people out to the different businesses during the off season. That's not necessarily an outdoor focused event. If Tom or Christina would like to add on to that, feel free to.
Ian?
Thank you. Madison, I had one question for you. I just want to make a couple comments, and then I had a question for you as well. But one thing you said, hitting on some of the connectability of some of the trails and different sites within the community, I think is a really key detail. It's something that's been an issue for a while now, and I would love to see the city continue to work on that. With the waterfront trail eventually hopefully happening, and working on things like that, I think would help. I wanted to ask city staff, and we can maybe do this later in the meeting as well, but with one of the comments earlier about the restaurant situation in Quinte West and comparing it to some other communities, is there more maybe we could do with the pop-ups? I know one of the original purposes of the pop-ups was to help encourage some businesses to try it out there, and then maybe open a full-time business in the city later on. And maybe that's a way we can start pushing some more restaurants to open in the area, because it is doable. You look at some of the other waterfront towns like Brockville, Cobourg, you do see more restaurants present there. But Mattis, I just wanted to ask you if you have seen, is there anything you saw happen in Stouffville that you thought was a really good catalyst for change there, that helped move things along, that you see as something that could maybe translate to Quinte West and is doable here?
I'll build upon your pop-up comment. We do have a Stouffville market in the downtown area, and it's a small fee for businesses to come and pop up and set up on Saturdays. And it has been a good incubator for businesses in the downtown area. We have had 2 businesses that did start at the market, and they do have brick and mortar businesses in the downtown area now. So it is a success story for us. So with your point too, like I know you have those amazing huts in the park that you use for pop-ups for businesses to set up there. That could be an opportunity. We did have a grant program that ran last year. I think it wrapped up, where businesses, it's almost like Dragon Den, where they would be able to present their work plan, present their plan to be coming into the downtown area of Stouffville, and then we were able to allocate some money for them to help them start up. Again, it is only one business that you're supporting with that sort of grant, but it did help that particular business that won the grant. We did have a board of people that helped identify and pick which one would be moving forward. But at the same time, another business that ran for that ended up opening in Stouffville. And now we do have a handful of businesses that we're working with who were interested in this program, that have a work plan that we're now trying to support to bring to Stouffville. We do also run entrepreneurship focused workshops. We try to do one once a month that is for interested entrepreneurs, but also existing entrepreneurs in Stouffville. That helps us network, build connections with entrepreneurs who are interested in coming, and hopefully helps build the skills that they would need to open up. I hope that helps answer the question. Tom and Christina, please also feel free to add on that if you have any other comments you'd like to make.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I can also say we do try our best to activate the downtown as much as possible. So we run music in the downtown area called Patio Series. We do have a theater in the downtown, so it helps because it is a town-owned asset. And we are also building 2 activation spaces that are gathering spaces for the community in the downtown. And so we are trying to really activate as much as possible through either passports, events, live music, the reconstruction revitalization project, which I know that you are also working on a revitalization project in the downtown area. I know that a street is going under reconstruction, so that's really exciting. So I think the bones are there, and we are all the smaller historic heritage towns are all on the same trajectory. We're trying to funnel more investment into our downtown area. We also are trying our best to, anytime we get investment leads, we try to see first and foremost if they would be better suited in the downtown area. And Tom is here on the call as well, is quite good at doing some investment attraction reach out to try and fill the vacancies in our downtown, because we want to see 0 vacancies as much as possible, and that's a challenge for everybody. I think we're all in the same boat here, but just to add to that, thank you.
Okay, thank you for your insights. Believe me when I say most of my notes are positive. The only thing that stuck out that was a bit disconcerting is you mentioned quite a few of our citizens were recommending Belleville. So how are we supposed to succeed as a community if they don't have faith in us? And I just wanted to ask the question, where did you find more of that? I know you said you mentioned the museums were recommending Belleville. I just want to know whether we should be focusing our ambassador training in the Trenton area, Frankfurt, or both.
I would say we got it in both downtown locations. We did receive it from retail, restaurants, the BIA office, as well as the museum. And I will mention too, some of our questions were, where should we go in the evening? What should we do in the evening? And it did seem that many of the businesses in the downtown areas did close early. So that could be part of it, is that they're saying Belleville maybe has businesses that are open later for us to go enjoy in the evening. But that said, we still did get a lot of Belleville as a recommendation to go explore.
Okay, and then I wasn't going to ask this question, but you mentioned Tom has experience and is quite successful at overturning vacancies. So he doesn't have to answer this today. I just want to put the bug in the staff's ear. What are his recommendations when there's a property owner that won't even build a shell so someone can rent the property? And that's an ongoing issue since we've had our economic development committee here. So I know renting might be challenging, but some people don't even invest in their own property and construct an outside shell or anything that they can rent. It makes our downtown look not appealing.
I can address that if you'd like. I can say that, we have the same challenges that you have in the eastern portion of your town. You have the new development for all of the food services being the franchises. And a lot of people go in there very quickly. They go in and they go out, and they've forgotten about the original downtown core. We have that challenge as well. However, we do have some local entrepreneurs that are taking an active investment in our downtown and spending a lot. And they're doing it because they have a passion for their community and their downtown. They see the future. My recommendation is that you seek out people that have a passion for your community, want to do something for the community, and be very good friends with them. Love the community together, support them. I guess we can say that the mini putt place we went to, it was apparent that it was a local entrepreneur that had a passion for the community and really wanted to make the experience the best of the best for visitors and those who are there. So what I typically do is identify those individuals and make them my best friends and know that we're here to support them. And typically speaking, when you have individuals like that, they have friends that have the same passion in their community. And when you get into that circle, you'd be surprised how much money there is in the community. It's just a matter of identifying it, being best friends with them, and using them to build your town. And there's no doubt that you can make it happen. It just takes a lot of relationship building and knowing that when they come to you for an idea or you have an idea for them, that they are your top priority. And I think with that's what we've been finding very successful. And we also struggle, just to let you know, with vacancies. And all I can tell you is it takes a lot of hard work just saying, we have a proud community. We'd really appreciate it if you participated in helping increase the value of your property, at the same time increase the value of others' properties. And then I can tell you we've done that, and now it's basically a snowball effect. We see people seeing progress in other properties and seeing the value that they have created for them. And you won't always get it, but if there are people on the fence, that could be enough to push them over the edge to do something. And we are seeing that happen, and it's becoming very successful and also very fruitful and gratifying to know that all the hard work is paying off. So no doubt you'd see that as well.
Thank you. Shelley, another question?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if you can just give us a little bit of insight about your structure. So you talked about this group of people that you've got that you pulled to that are working on improving the area. Do you have a DBA, an economic development, and a chamber of commerce that have been working as well? Is that kind of the bones of what has you're building your infrastructure, I guess, and trying to promote this? I'm just wondering, like, what do you have that we have that might be different?
We do have a chamber that we work closely with, the economic development team. They do not have an office in the downtown area, so I was very excited to see that you do, because that's an amazing asset that you have. We do not have a BIA, used to, but that did collapse. We do have a Villages Double Advisory Committee, which is a committee of council that would advise what we can do to improve the downtown area. They do put on events and they do put on initiatives in the downtown area to support the businesses, and they do support with marketing of the downtown area, but they would be our ambassadors of the downtown. So that, I guess, is the different groups that we're working with: the Chamber, the Advisory Committee, and ACTEV. We do work closely with engineering and public works and development, just because we do have the revitalization project coming up. So we do need to work closely with them in order to successfully have that happen with proper communication to the businesses and proper support.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you for your presentation. Oh, Lori, you have your hand up now.
Yeah, thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. For those who don't know me, my name is Lori Cowett. I'm your regional advisor with the Ministry of Rural Affairs, of which First Impression is one of our programs. I would just encourage you, there are a lot of great opportunities that have been presented here today, a lot of great opportunities that will be in sort of the broader report. And it could be a little bit intimidating when you see them all. Might be worthwhile just to look at them in terms of what can be done short-term versus long-term. And just know that there are programs through our ministry that can help you, help support you in terms of actioning some of those, whether it be through the Rural Ontario Development Program to fund some of your low-hanging fruit or some of your action items, or Downtown Revitalization Program in the long term. So just know that we're there to support, and just wanted to also give a shout out to the Stouffville team for doing an amazing job with a lot of their observations, and their report was fantastic. So well done.
Thanks again. And we will move on to the quarterly updates from the staff in the Economic Development, Tourism, and Special Events areas. No, they can.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Luisa Sorrentino. I'll just start with some of the updates on the economic development, starting with our career fair, which took place on April 15th. We have two of those a year. So this was the spring one in partnership with the City of Belleville and, of course, the Working Quinte through the Bay of Quinte Regional Marketing Board under the Working Quinte umbrella. So in this particular career fair, we've seen a lower number of attendees, which arguably can be a positive thing. We did have 39 employers and 7 service providers that attended, mainly manufacturing and retail industries where they're represented at the career fair, followed by the healthcare and skilled trade industries. 96.9, so almost 97% of the 32 employers responded to our post-event survey, and they found the career fair satisfactory or very relevant for their company, with plans to either hire on the interviewed attendees at the career fair, and some of them hired on the spot right there. Another important thing that I wanted to mention on this career fair
what like an interesting trend, and probably Doug will also speak to that, is that while 110 attendees of the 314 were in the age bracket of 15 to 20 years old, that bracket is followed by the second biggest age group was 50 plus. So I just want you to think about that and reflect on that. So the first bracket was 15 to 20 years old. The second bracket was 50 plus among the attendees. And then the highest level of education of a third of the attendees was college diploma, followed by high school or equivalent. So I thought that was really interesting in terms of the data that we're acquiring. Then we have an upcoming Shop Local campaign, which will be launched once the branding for the doctor recruitment program is completed and ready to launch, as well as some of our itineraries, which we're going to be launching. So these itineraries have the goal to join or pair Shop Local with some of the tourism experiences. So looking to say pair perhaps the scenery and the beautiful natural settings that we do have, so the outdoor space and like seasonal environment events and whatnot, together with the quality of some of our retail experiences that we have. So the independent businesses, the local makers, some of the Canadian-made goods that are available in our downtowns that make that a significant also social experience. Like we were talking about, some of the Stouffville team was talking about, making those memories downtown, making sure that people come downtown, bring their family, bring their friends, and gather downtown. So through a Shop Local this year that unifies those two things, we're going to be doing some itineraries. We're just finalizing some of the other ones that we've identified some target audiences. So that's coming up. So stay tuned for that. Another update very quickly is on the CIP. Again, so we have two intakes for the CIP. We have a spring and the fall. So this was the first intake for this year. The next intake will start on August 17 until October 12. This one received 11 applications, with 8 of them being successful. We're still working with most of the applicants because, as you know, once it is approved, it doesn't mean that it's done in overnight, so it takes time. But if all the applications that were successful will continue and do the work that they've said they will do, this will result in approximately $70,000 funded through the CIP program for retail and tourism and commercial. We are also working on BRNE, which is very exciting. We're going to be doing a request for quotes very soon. We're just finalizing the document now so that we can get a consultant working with us and get that project on the road. We're expecting probably the fall for execution and completion for that project. Same for the community profile. The community profile is ready. We just need to make sure that we have a finalized logo for the doctor recruitment program. But any one of you, if you wanted to have a look before it's launched, it's ready. And then another update for the farmers market. This year has been incredibly successful. So we've received a lot of applications, but we have given 32 seasonal vendor applications, 32 vendor permits, and of course we also have some daily permits. So there are some vendors that only come on certain Saturdays rather than for the entire season. The market has started early and will continue until October 10. There's also a great lineup of events that are being planned in coordination with some of the volunteers from the market group. And we have our market clerk is Christina Reeve and Brenda Rose, who will cover for her a couple of the Saturdays in the summer throughout the season. And yeah, we had this amazing event, Skills and Trade Technology, or also called Trade Truck event at the Operation Center. I'm sure most of you have heard about it. We've partnered with the Quinte Economic Development Commission as well as Skills Ontario and both of the school boards. This event took place over 2 days, the 21st and 22nd of April, and we also had industry tours, one at Freycan and one at Deca Cables. We had a very tight schedule for both days where we had prepared an itinerary, so to speak, for the students when they arrive with their bus, and then they were taken through a tour of the operation center, a tour of one of the industry partners. Then they were touring the trade trucks and just exploring their opportunity as it relates to a career in trades. And the Ontario Skill Trade, they have this amazing truck where it has different stations where you can actually hands-on try a trade. And we've received some amazing feedback. We had about 250 students that participated through the school boards, but also we had an open house from 5:30 to 7:30 where we counted between 180 and 200 people that attended the open house. So overall, a great event. We are very grateful also to some of the vendors that we've invited to be there, such as the Air Force. So they also came and showed the students how is it possible to have a career in trades in the military or in the Air Force. As well as A1 Plumbing was there, the Center for Workforce Development, and the Quinte Home Builder Association. We plan on doing it again so we skip 1 year and then we do it again the following year. And then, so this was my last slide for economic development, which of course you already learned all about it, the FIs now. And now I pass it on to my colleague, Jen.
Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm just going to begin by talking about the tourism wayfinding strategy, which we have talked about for several meetings now. But as you probably are aware from our last meeting, that the plan that we had, the tourism wayfinding strategy, was approved by council during budget deliberations in December. Not all of the recommended budget was approved. We did, however, apply for Rural Ontario Development funding in the late winter months, which has not been announced yet. So we are currently awaiting that decision. And once it is confirmed with regards to that, we will then identify the parts of the plan that will be undertaken first. And as Zach was mentioning within his remarks, we are kind of on the right track in a lot of different ways. And one of those ways is that the wayfinding from the marina to the downtown was identified as one of the priorities in that too. So that may be one of the first ones we do. We'll have to see how that works out. The Tourism Development Fund, we actually had that approved last I guess almost a year ago now. It was launched in December, the first application of the intake, and they went to council on May 6th council meeting. And the grants based on the staff report were presented then, and the following organizations and events have received the following funding there. The Quinte Walleye Festival received $5,000, Bait Fuel Fishing Tour, $3,500, the MLF Canada, or the Quinte Cup, is $5,000. The Ontario Bass Nation, which is doing a national provincial qualifier in the late summer, is $7,500. The Trenton Dragon Boat Festival, $2,000. The Fat Ass Trail Run, $2,000. And Seven Paddles Pedal Boat Rentals was $4,000. Further to the Tourism Development Fund awarding, which I just mentioned, the Quinte Walleye Festival has actually already happened, and it was held on opening weekend, May 2nd and 3rd, was hosted by the Competitive Sport Fishing League, the same ones that host the Quinte Cup in the summer. This event focused on creating a family-friendly experience
while the main event was located in Quinte West in Centennial Park and the arena. Way stations were also established in Belleville, Prince Edward County, and Brighton. There were over 1,100 tickets sold, with adults accounting for 70% of the registration and juniors 30%. And of these adult participants, 45% were local and 55% were visitors. Participants traveled from across Ontario, including Ottawa, Kingston, Cornwall, London, Kitchener, Simcoe County, St. Catharines, the Kawarthas, Durham Region, Greater Toronto Area, and even a few participants attended from Thunder Bay and Winnipeg. So it was really well attended by a lot of people within the region and beyond. Also of note, the Lions Club and the Kinsman Club were also involved with the event, one hosting a pancake breakfast, the other one hosting a food truck on site. And the CSFL also included the food bank and raised almost $4,000 that went towards TMH through their 50-50 draw that they hosted. Subject to approvals, the CSFL is interested in expanding that for the 2027 season. Oh, sorry. Those are the images that went away with it. So this on the bottom image is our the actual weigh-in time, the show that they had on the Sunday afternoon at 4:30. So that was very well attended as well. And then just up at the top are a couple of photos that kind of reflected the actual weigh-in areas and the size of the fish that were caught. Summer students, and I'm just going to note that our summer students actually didn't start until after the vice visit, but we did train our tourism students to hopefully, and basically one thing I ever said, if I ever hear anybody saying go to Belleville first, then we'll have an issue. But so we have done some training with our students, and hopefully that's reflected in the rest of the people who visit this summer. So we did hire 3 tourism ambassadors for the summer. One is a returning student, 2 are new to the program. The Chamber of Commerce was also successful in obtaining Canada Summer Jobs funding for a 4th tourism ambassador and has hired a student who will return this summer. Students will be stationed at the Quinte West Pop-Ups Visitor Center during operating hours and at the Chamber of Commerce Visitor Center 7 days a week. They will also attend city events with a visitor information booth, as well as a summer concert series and other third-party events deemed appropriate. We did host a tourism stakeholders event on May 21st at the Battawa Ski Hill. Stakeholders were invited to attend a networking and brochure exchange. The event provided businesses with an opportunity to connect and share their promotional materials while exploring cross-promotional opportunities. Approximately 20 stakeholders attended the event. Staff presented information on the Tourism Community Improvement Plan and upcoming wayfinding signage initiatives, and also introduced attendees to representatives of the Bay of Quinte Regional Marketing Board. The event also served to assess stakeholder interest in future networking and professional development opportunities, which we did find their great interest for. The Quinte West Pop-Ups is open for the 2026 season. We opened on Victoria Day weekend and will operate until September 6th, Labor Day weekend. Until July 1st, the site is open Friday through Sunday, with operating hours expanding Thursday through to Sunday, 11 to 7 after July 1st weekend. This year's program features 6 seasonal food vendors and 2 rotating sheds, retail sheds. We now have 2 food trucks as well. And a new 2026 offering is a pedal boat rental company operated by 7 Paddles. They will launch on Canada Day. That was also something that was referred to in our Tourism Development Fund grant funding. Programming to date has included an Indigenous Artisan Festival, which took place June 6th and 7th, and that is actually an image of the photo there, so it was quite well attended. Unfortunately, our Pride event this past weekend was canceled due to the weather, but we are hoping to reschedule all the activities that we had planned for that day. Additional programming includes weekly live music performances on Saturdays from 3 to 5 p.m. and a multicultural luncheon on June 27th. Other participation in city and third-party events will take place in Centennial Park, and the hope is that that will draw a large crowd to our pop-ups as well. Throughout soccer and baseball, we will also be promoting to those groups as well to come over and participate in, purchasing food and buying some retail items from the sheds. The current Art on the Trent exhibit features Indigenous artists from the Bay of Quinte region with the theme Indigenous Art, a celebration of history and culture. This exhibit will be in place until the beginning of October when a new exhibit will be featured. I do know that the Stouffville team did have a photo in their report, and they mentioned how lovely this was. I can tell you that I know one that's my particular favorite is one of a sculpture, a photograph of a sculpture, but it basically just pops off the page, and it's wonderful. It's one in Centennial Park, so it's a must visit, and check that one out for sure. Other beautification efforts that we've been working on, we have coordinated this staining of the Gateway Tier 1 and Tier 2 community signs and are currently assessing the cost of staining and the existing wayfinding signage that we have. This is the timbers that we're referring to that you can see. They do get quite weathered with the salt and that kind of thing that happens in the winters from the snow plows and that sort of thing. So we did need, they were in need of maintenance, and we got those ones completed. The Muskoka Chair project, which was completed in 2023, has been successful. You noted also one of the chairs in their presentation, and it was beautiful, colorful chair. However, over the past seasons, due to wear and tear, several chairs were retired this year. What we did was we painted the chairs a teal color, the ones that were still structurally sound, and we put them in pairs at the marinas and the pop-up locations. So we have still been using these chairs that we did purchase in 2023 for this process. The Economic Development Department is cost sharing with the Parks Department on the purchase of 4 new picnic tables, which will be positioned along the pathway behind the river at the Front Street Farmers Market structure. So this will be, hopefully they'll be in by the middle of July and be installed right away so that people can start to enjoy those as well. A couple of fall tourism events that we're working on. There's a Farms Open event, which will come back for the second year, and Doors Open, which we've been doing for many, many years now. 2 similar events that showcase sites and businesses that aren't always open to the public or highlight offerings within their operations that are of special interest. So Farms Open will take place September 12th to the 14th, and Doors Open on October 3rd. I'll just pass it on to Rebecca for her comments.
Good afternoon, folks. So I'll pick up where my colleague Jen has left off. We're just going to take a step back chronologically so I can let you know that we've already had a fairly eventful spring leading into the early summer. So highlighted in green here are some of the events that have already taken place, including Frankfurt Riverfest, the opening of the pop-ups as mentioned, and then this past weekend we had our Quinte West Presents, Quinte West Presents Soccer Central. And so, as you know, because I've reported here many times over the last 3 years, the special events team brings to the community a different thematic delivery under the Quinte West Presents brand. So this year, in the spirit of World Cup and the FIFA celebration, we jumped on the bandwagon and delivered an event on the only nice day that we seemed to have at the end of last week. So it was sunny and warm on Saturday, and we welcomed approximately 500 people to Centennial Park to celebrate all things soccer. I really do want to just give a shout out to our Quinte West Soccer Club partners who were instrumental in delivering a lot of the programming. If you didn't get there, you may have seen the press that was covered on the new sport trend that is walking soccer. If you haven't tried it, I encourage you to. It's exactly what soccer is, minus the running. It was very popular, as well as the skills and drills that Quinte West Soccer Club delivered to the community on Saturday. So just flipping back, so it's captured in the recording, and you can take a look at how busy we are shaping up to be leading into Canada Day on July 1st, the initiation of our Trenton and Frankfurt Summer Concert Series on Sundays and Wednesdays throughout July and August, the ward parties, and I do have a couple of slides that speak to some of these highlights, so I'm just going to move forward into those. So July the 1st, it's tried and true and everyone loves it. We'll return on Wednesday, July the 1st to Centennial Park from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., kicking off with a pancake breakfast, free entertainment, music, family fun and games, face painting, vendors, a vendor village, and so on. And then, of course, fireworks to kick off the evening at dusk. So we look forward to seeing everyone in Centennial Park to celebrate Canada's birthday. The concert series, as I mentioned, we're rolling out a new brand for the concert series, so hopefully you like the colorful image that you're looking at. We have trifold brochures and information throughout the community, including a dedicated newspaper ad that will be coming out the first week of July, promoting all of the different dates, concert band names, and genres. You can find more information, of course, about all of that information at quintewest.ca/concerts. Next up is another returning favorite, the Quinte West Ward Parties. So we started this a few years ago as well, and it is a great success in each of our communities. So the schedule here is on the slide. Each of our ward parties will feature a free outdoor movie, as well as themed entertainment, kids activities, food offerings, and so on. I am just going to flip my slide here, or sorry, my screen here, so I can tell you what the themes and movies are. So July 11th in Centennial Park, it is the movie GOAT, G-O-A-T. All of these are rated G for family viewing, and the theme is GOAT games, so you can come out and try your best being the greatest of all time, is what the acronym represents at Games in the Park. July 18th in Frankfurt Tourist Park, the movie is Hoppers. I'm told that it is the blockbuster of the summer, and the theme there is Adventure Awaits. August 8th in Badwa is the movie Elemental, and the theme is In Your Element. So we're going to do some STEM, science, technology, engineering, math with the theme at that event, in that ward party. And then lastly, on Labor Day weekend, September 5th in Wooler, is the movie Pout Pout Fish, Lights, Camera, Conservation is the theme. So we'll be leaning into all things environmental sustainability in Wooler to wrap up the summer. And then looking into fall, so just an advanced preview on some of our highlights coming. I've reported here before that we are replacing Hops on the Water with Quinte West Fusion Fest. So following Canada Day, you'll see in the media the official announcement for Fusion Fest with more information. That'll be afternoon, evening event as Hops was, 11 to 7, and we're relocating the festival from the Farmers Market parking lot to behind the marina to take advantage of using some of our other waterfront space. So that ties nicely into some of the recommendations we heard from the FEIS team here today. We also have Quinte West Culture Days coming back through the end of September, early October, piggybacking on the province's Culture Days programming, and we welcome community groups, organizations, facilities, social clubs, and so on to join us in delivering all things arts and culture. The city will be rolling out lots of promotion for what those activities are. We have Doors Open that falls within the Culture Days window, and then to round out our fall programming, we have what was last year's Quinte West Presents event that was so popular and successful. We're bringing it back now as a cornerstone to our seasonal event offering, Medieval Madness. So that's a Renaissance fair / all things medieval and historic. We invite people to come out to Centennial Park for the day to enjoy dressing in costume and taking advantage of all the themed entertainment and activities. We do have an open call for vendors, exhibitors, entertainers, anyone who operates in the Renaissance genre. We are still looking for folks to join us, though it has been a very successful uptake, so we look forward to bringing that festival to the community in the fall. And that concludes our presentation, so I'll hold here for any questions for myself or our colleagues.
Questions for any of the economic development team? Yeah, Ed?
Sorry, I do have a question. I'm not sure who to direct it to. A couple of weeks ago, weekends, I was down at Centennial Park. It was the busiest I've ever seen it. There was a large carnival on one side of the park. The Humane Society had the other side of the park. Unfortunately, the pop-ups were really hurting because there was nobody there. But who manages that rental of that space, and does Quinte West get a portion of those revenues?
Thank you. Through the chair, I can take the question. So our special events team is responsible for direct delivering city planned events like Canada Day, as well as permitting the use of municipal space, specifically outdoor space, for community events and gatherings. So the carnival that you're referring to, I think, is the Kinsman Carnival that was in Centennial Park a couple of weekends ago. That is a rental, so they do undertake an application. They receive a municipal event permit. We ensure compliance so that they have proper risk management, insurance, and so on. The comment of the fees I would have to take away and look into. It's my understanding that fees are charged, but that they also receive a fee waiver under the city's fee waiver policy. So I'm not familiar with the dollars and cents in this moment.
How about the Humane Society? Did they pay for that?
Yep, thank you for the question. So they operate the same way through our third-party community event application form online. They are a returning event, as is the Kinsman Carnival. Again, I would need to check their permit to be precise with the fees, but there are applicable fees under our rates and fees bylaw. Many of our community events and nonprofit organizations are eligible for fee waivers. I would expect that would have applied as well.
Okay. Anyone else? Joanna? Yeah.
I was wondering, the career fair, I was just wondering, are there enough jobs for the people looking for jobs in the area? I don't know who would know that, or if somebody does know that. I was just curious to know if.
Through the chair to Joanna, I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
So, as you might remember, we operate workinquinte.ca. And also work in collaboration with the city and the City of Belleville on the Work in Quinte Career Fair. I can tell you that of the 39 who attended, the stipulation is if you're going to be at the career fair, you got to have a job to be able to offer people. And several of them there had multiple positions. So Garrett Harvey, who works on our Bay of Quinte team, he manages Work in Quinte. And I know he spoke with 2 or 3 who had 5, 6 jobs that they hired right on the spot. So the question of, are there enough jobs? Truthfully, I have no idea. But I can say this, as an organization who operates a local jobs website, Garrett sure is busy. And he's putting stuff out there all the time. And I hope that if you were to go on workinquinte.ca right now, you'd see that there's a diversity of jobs. It's not all one type. And so I can't remember off the top of my head what our unemployment rate is. Maybe you know that, Linda, or we can phone a friend and call Chris King, wherever he might be. But I know we're doing pretty well.
Are they hiring the 50 plus, age 50 plus?
Why would you want to know? You're 39. Yeah, they are. And in fact, I'll say this too. Sorry, Linda, you were going to jump in. One of the things we find through Work in Quinte as well is the 50 plus crowd is just as much looking for part-time work. And so there's been a lot more part-time jobs going up there also. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. And I was also wondering, your improvement plan. I was wondering if you could give us a couple of examples of the type of jobs that they want to do in the area. Like, just to give me, is it just, improvement, facade improvement? Is it, I don't know what it is.
Yes, for sure. So I can give an example. I mean, they're public. So, for instance, Vivacious is a retail store downtown, which added a spa operation to the store. So they've expanded the spa operations, and they have brought quite a few updates to the store to allow for that, on top of also having to eventually, this hasn't been completed yet, but they will have to change the sign as well. So that is part of the facade improvement. But the one that they have just recently completed was a building renovation. So the CIP has different programs, so facade, building renovation, permit fees, accessibility, or TIG, which is an increment, a tax increment grant. But we have quite a few that have applied for the building renovation grant, which is the one that involves the most renovations. Could be something small, like say changing or bringing some things up to code. Could be electrical, could be plumbing, could be, say, the outside fascia, or changing the eavesdrops, or I mean, I don't know all the technical names of some of the works that they do, but there is quite an extensive list of things that can be done and that are eligible
Are they
through the
mostly from
program.
downtown? It's mostly from downtown businesses?
It's a variety. It's a corridor commercial as well as downtown. But there are some businesses that, are downtown and qualify in the commercial or retail as well as tourism. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, actually. Just the wayfaring project, you said that we were waiting for a grant. If we don't get the grant, are we still able to follow through with that wayfaring? Because, I mean, the project that we just saw today, they clearly said we need new signs. So I was just wondering, can we go ahead with it even if we don't get the grant?
Through you, Mr. Chair, to Joanna Mark. Yes, we can do several of the projects that we have. We just maybe not be able to do all of it at once, so we might have to phase it in over multiple years. But yes, we will be able to do that, and that was one of the priorities that was identified right off the top in the tourism wayfinding strategy.
Okay, great. Hopefully we get the grant, you can do it all, but if we don't, at least we'll move forward on it. And the other one is, when I was reading the thing about the walleye, and they said that next year they want to expand it. What does that mean?
Through you, Mr. Chair, again, they would like to do more family-oriented events and extend, maybe they did have the timing just during the day for the weigh-ins, and a lot of the feedback to the tournament was also like an overnight weigh-in like they used to have it. It used to kind of start on Friday night at midnight and go through the weekend, where they just had it, the weigh-ins go from like 9 to 5, for example, which was, hard for people to keep their fish alive all night in those cases. So they do want to extend that particular aspect of it, but more than that, kind of offer more things in the park to make it kind of a true festival of what it used to be.
Okay. And then the summer students, are they collecting any stats? Like, are they asking people where they're from and, what their interests are and that sort of thing?
Absolutely. We do have a fulsome checklist, which they will report on after the visitor leaves the chamber through conversation and that kind of thing. They do get all of that stats, or all of those stats, where you're from, how many people are in your party, and as soon as the visitor leaves, then they kind of write that down. That's a task that they've been given, and that happens at the chamber and at the pop-ups for the most part. And at special events, they will gather data like how many people visited the booth, what information they took, and those types of things. So yes, we do track some of that data as best we can.
Are we getting a lot of U.S. visitors, or is it just Canadian, not just, but, Ontario people, or?
There's definitely some American visitors. We don't have those, we're not tracking those. I don't have the report in yet from this past month that they've been doing it, but overall, and I'm sure Babe Quinte will agree, that we are still getting American visitors, especially with the cost of the dollar, that, it's quite profitable to come and visit here. So yeah, I think it makes our money go a lot longer. There is the sentiment of the elbows up, and that may be keeping some Americans away, but I think by and large, a lot of them are coming this way.
That'd be great. One last question. We brought up the issue of water in the pop-ups. Is that a possibility, drinking water for people? Was that a possibility that we can do that, or is that just, something we just can't do?
That's something that's not really feasible right now through our Parks Department.
Okay.
Anyone else? Zach?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just had a couple of kind of anecdote comments and then a question for staff. I liked seeing the picnic table replacement, actually surprising to me, but I've gotten a lot of community contact, the fact that they were not put in so far this spring, and I understand the new ones are coming, but apparently get quite a lot of usage because it was definitely noticed. I had several comments on that, so that's good. Someone asked before, I think we were talking about the pop-ups, the idea of the pop-ups incubating brick and mortar businesses. I can't remember who mentioned that, but anecdotally again, but visited a couple of weeks ago, and there is at least one of the food vendors is actively weighing that for the future. So that was very good to hear for sure. And yeah, just briefly, so I know we're running on here, but I think the business retention and expansion RFP, that's a really vital, important project. And I just wanted to know whoever, I'm not sure who best to ask, maybe Louisa, but could you just, for the public members and everyone, could you maybe talk about some of the deliverables in the RFP?
Is it okay if I answer? Yeah, okay. Yes, so we're gonna retain, once the RFQ goes out, we're gonna retain a consultant who will be administering interviews. We'll do a focus group or open house, however we want to call it, interview the businesses through the list that we provide through the chamber and as well as through the BIA. And then we'll provide a report with recommendations on the findings that they will have through the sentiment of the existing businesses that are in the community. And then with those recommendations, we will do an action plan and what is feasible to do in the short term and long term. I don't know if she wants to add something.
I would just like to add, so this BRNE, Business Retention Expansion Survey, is for the commercial and technology sectors and service professional sectors. So it's been since COVID that we've done like a comprehensive survey of those sectors. So again, once the data is analyzed by the consultants, they will undertake the interview process, and then we would work on establishing recommendations and action plans as a result of the business retention expansion project. We've really used it over the years for various economic development strategies because it'll be timely information and we can work on some actionable items and bring some of those forward to council for consideration if there's budget aspects of it and things like that. So just it's a really good tool to get a pulse of the commercial sector in the community citywide and then also work on action items to benefit those businesses.
Leslie?
Thank you, through the chair. I'd just like to say it was an excellent report by all staff that participated, and there's certainly lots going on in Quinte West. One struck out to me. I was wondering if you could elaborate. The Fusion event, whatever. What is that? Can you tell me? I'm quite interested.
Sure. Thank you for the question through the chair. Yes, Quinte West Fusion Fest will be September 17th on the marina property, the green space surrounding the marina as well as inside the marina. So it is intended to be a cross-section of all things culture, entertainment, and Quinte West. So some of the things that Hops on the Water did really well was engage local vendors, local craft brewers, local food vendors, and so we will be bringing all of those folks back to the extent that they wish to join us. And we'll also be looking to provide more entertainment, more family-friendly interactivity at the festival. The festival will also be free. So unlike Hops that was a ticketed event, we'll be giving a free experience to folks with Fusion Fest. And Fusion in the name is intended to be fusion in the theme, where we will be fusing different cultures, different genres, different food, different beverage, all together. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Seeing none, may I have a mover and a seconder for staff report 26006 CS? Irene, Ed, all in favor? That's carried, thank you. We'll go to our resource update. Start us off, Doug.
Yeah, you bet. First things first, our Bay Quinte Discovery Guide is out, and if you haven't seen one, I brought some to the library. We discover or distribute these all around the province, and I was talking about this at council. Fun fact, the province used to have 13 or 14 provincial visitor centers, and they shut down all but 2 of them. And so we used to distribute I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 guides, maybe more through those visitor centers, coordinated by Trevor Norris on my team. And so when they shut down, we created a new partnership with the Globe and Mail, and we did inserts, and we did 9,000 last month in GTA, Ottawa Valley, GTA East and West properties. And so just trying to solve that problem. Recently, we came out with what we call our 6-month metric report. I should really share that with this group for information. I bet you'd love that on a Friday night. But a couple of quick takeaways, just because I know all of us are on social media, even though maybe we don't want to be. And for the first time since I can ever remember, we saw the strangest Facebook engagement numbers. They're just dropping like mad. And if you use Facebook recently, you probably think like I do, it's kind of becoming garbagey. And they're really incentivizing spending money and being in community groups. And they're feeding us, the user, all this stuff that isn't really relevant to us anymore. I go through my feed and I think, I don't even know this person. Why are you showing me this? I don't know this group and I've never expressed interest in this group. Why are you showing me this? So I mention this because there are a lot of marketers and business owners in this room, and this is going to be a new challenge. Facebook is still used by over 80% of Canadians. So unfortunately, this is a new problem that we're going to all have to figure out. Also quickly in that report, and Louisa talked about work in Quinte, when we tabulated results, we found that 21% of employers using Work in Quinte were hiring using Work in Quinte. And 10% of job seekers were finding a job on the platform. And so, you know, this is these are great numbers, and shows us that we're going in the right direction with this thing. And we recently rebranded and redid the website last year and saw some great growth, which this was a part of. Just quickly before I let you go, also part of the 6-month report is the CBRE overnight accommodations data. And I also reported to council when I came to present about 2025 results that last year we were up a little over 2%. That's worth a couple $1,000,000 for this region, which is great. And so I'm happy to report that we're still up over 1% over last year from now through April. And just a quick shout out to any of our 40 under 40 winners from last year in the Bay of Quinte. We've got a get together event that we're organizing next week, and we're going to put them to work. So hopefully I'll be reporting back with some takeaways from that when I'm back at the next meeting. Thanks so much.
And Joe introduced himself to everyone that's in the building, but for the handful of viewers that are actually watching live stream of this committee meeting, Joe Southwell is a new CEO of the Quinte West Chamber of Commerce. Do you have an update for us?
There we go. Yeah, briefly. Thanks for the introduction, Mr. Chair, and thanks for putting me after Doug. I love having to follow that energy. That's amazing. Just a quick update on the business confidence survey. Suzanne met with Linda Lyle and the economic development team to go through the results of that. That survey was comparing Quinte West to the rest of the province. 144 businesses actually filed or completed the survey, which is excellent results or excellent participation from Quinte West. The results were very close to the provincial average and very positive. And the results were very positive. When business were talking about their own operations and future growth, Linda and Suzanne will be providing a press release for everyone to review. So, yeah.
Thank you. Lisa?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The DBIA is gearing up for an exciting summer as preparations continue for the 2026 Festival on the Bay. This year's festival is shaping up to be one of the biggest yet, with a full street of vendors ready to showcase their products, services, and talents. On May 21st, we also held our annual general meeting where we shared our 2025 accomplishments, reviewed our financials, and presented our 2026 budget and plans for the year ahead. One of the highlights of the evening was announcing that the Trenton DBIA has successfully secured a $35,000 money matching marketing grant to support the promotion and growth of the downtown area. This exciting initiative is already underway with the help of Louisa and Doug. And it will include the development of a new downtown Trenton brand identity, logo, marketing materials, and a comprehensive brand guide designed to strengthen the visibility and promotion of the downtown core. In addition, discussions are ongoing around long-term marketing strategies, tourism promotion, digital engagement, and increasing awareness of all that downtown has to offer. There are many exciting things on the horizon, and we look forward to continuing to invest and promote a vibrant and welcoming, thriving downtown Trenton.
Thank you from the resource team. Any new business from any of the committee members? Leslie? No? Rosie? Brent? Zach? No, nothing on this. Irene, go ahead. Break the.
I just have a question. Is there any update on what the construction on Division Street and at the bridge and all that, and how that's going to affect downtown?
Through the chair to the member. Our Public Works and Environmental Services team are the ones project managing that. We do have some information available through the city's website that I can certainly direct you to outside of this meeting. I don't have those particular details and certainly wouldn't want to quote any timelines, but we can certainly direct you by email to the appropriate information and contacts.
Yes.
We had this great report presented to us earlier, and they had some great observations and activities that we could, not activities, but, where we could improve. Are you guys going to take that back and then look at it and then kind of come up with a plan, or like what happens after getting that report?
Through the chair to committee member Joanna. So yes, we heard the presentation today for the first time as well. So we'll be, and there's a lot of information there. We don't have the detailed version, so we'll be reviewing that and looking at setting up some action items and working with the partners, the DBIA and the Chamber of Commerce and Bay of Quinte and QEDC, and look at some opportunities with that and bring forward any recommendations to council that would be required as part of that process.
Okay, that's good, because I didn't know it was the first time you saw the report. I didn't know if you had it already, so that's great. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Zach.
Sorry, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to piggyback on those comments a little bit and just say, based on the information that they've got, speaking just as a resident, not as a councillor, but I would love to see the city undertake a waterfront master plan, or at least an updating of the trails, waterfront trails master plan, and was done in 2018, as I understand the last time. So I think with some of the comment and feedback there, that next term of council might be as good a time as ever to jump into that. So,
Any comments from online members?
Nothing from me, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for attending, and pick 2 for adjournment. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
And it's before.